He's our business sports analyst and also visiting professor at Harvard Law School because, Brooke, when you think Harvard Law,
you think of Rick Horrow.
Of course you do. Rick!
Wow.
How you doing? Go ahead and show the tickets.
Yes,
I know you're excited.
sir.
Go ahead and show the tickets.
Here we go.
Nice.
All right, so today is a day where people are being nice to me because they're not sure that I do have them all committed. When you have three and you know you got two people going, it's like, all right, who's the lucky one for the third?
So who is the third?
It's not you because you need to be nicer.
Who's
we'll
the
see.
third?
We'll just have to see.
Are you going to sell that ticket?
I'll let you know tomorrow.
Rick, are you going to be out there selling that ticket?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Because if I was before, I'm certainly not going to do it now.
No,
I guarantee you that.
They'll be watching you now. All right. Yes, go ahead.
You can get $2,500 or so for some of these tickets.
Wow.
And by the way, a 24-seat box behind us, $95,000.
Wow.
Tomorrow morning, we'll talk a little bit more about those economics.
We'll get into that, but we're talking about the economics of Peyton Manning and Drew Brees right now.
Right.
Why do they love these guys so much?
Well, but they're likable, and people are aware of them. You know, Peyton is the king, four-time MVP. He's number 5 on our Power 100 list. You've seen him on DirecTV. You've seen him on Sony commercials. And by the way, his likability index is higher than Diana Ross and Elvis. We don't find Elvis, that's the thing. And the awareness index is higher than people like Colin Powell and Diana Ross and others as well. The bottom line is they love his marketability. Drew Brees, no glass ceiling, 25th on the list. Regional endorsements, regional commercials. What happens if he's MVP and he takes New Orleans on his shoulders and makes them Super Bowl champions? His $17 million today triples or so next week.
Well, and you know, it probably doesn't help. They have kind of squeaky clean images. You don't hear too much about them getting in trouble off the field, and they seem like, at least on the field, sportsmen, total sportsmen. So I'm sure they like that as well. But also, this game adds a little intrigue and their personal stories. You talked about Drew Brees there and how much he's really done for the city of New Orleans, but also Peyton Manning is a New Orleans guy. He's a Louisiana boy.
Well, let's remember that his dad was the first original quarterback of the old expansion Saints when they were the Aints. And he got a New Orleans-based family who is front and center on Katrina relief, playing against a quarterback that has made the Saints the NFC champions, that brings more money and more awareness for Katrina relief. So it's a win-win on both sides of this.
Brees as well, his story, how much has he done really for that city as far as heavily recovery from Hurricane Katrina?
It's astronomical. You can't quantify it. The Drew Brees Foundation has raised a significant amount of money, as Peyton has too. But he single-handedly lifted the community on his shoulders, and the NFC Championship is basically icing on the cake. And he has a lot of regional endorsements, but he could run for mayor of New Orleans. I know they have a mayoral election. They've got a new one. But listen, if Drew Brees win or loses today, that current mayor better take the oath of office pretty quickly.
All right, one last thing before we let you go, and kind of on a serious note, but it kind of touches on something we've been seeing with Gilbert Arenas, at least with him getting in trouble with the whole guns issue. Everybody knows that with the Washington Wizards. But on players behaving badly, if you will, and then being allowed to play again, Dante Stallworth, a lot of people will remember, got a DUI, hit and killed a man, only spent 30 days in jail, and now he is going to be reinstated by the NFL. Just give me your thoughts on this move and how it stacks up kind of historically with other athletes who have gotten in trouble for all kinds of things.
Hey, you know what? You can make the argument that this is not severe enough, but it's also facts of the individual case. Roger Goodell is known as the no-nonsense commissioner. The last thing he would do is to do something that'll change that image. On the other hand, he was tremendously contrite, repentant. He's got a charitable background. There are others on the other side of this deal, without mentioning names, that won't take any remorse, who don't feel like it ought to be something that they should be penalized for. So a lot of it has to do with whether the athlete views this as something that he takes very seriously, and Roger Goodell makes that decision.
All right. And again, we say he's been reinstated so he can play. Don't know if any team is going to give him a shot.
Right.
We appreciate you. Rick Horrow, thank you so much. Good.